Right, so Monday I have picked up a whole heap of stuff. That's the roof lining with my engine mounts and stuff. So I got paint on the back, so I should be right. Spent plenty of money, so definitely had enough of that. But yeah, should be right to get going now. Got 8 airbags. They were pretty expensive, but I got a good deal, so it could be worse. Just got to wait for the bearing for the alternator drive to come in and one fan belt, and then that's it. But I should have everything I need now to put the motor in, I hope. And the roof lining looks the same, except I think it's just got the added spot for a radio in it. It's got the roof console spot. So yeah, should be good to go. Head back to the shed and hopefully make some more progress. What's up guys, welcome back. So we've been swapping more bits around, pretty much same thing as last episode. Just been bolting bits back on the new motor that's going in, and yeah, just cleaning bits up as we go. So I got the seal and bearing for the alternator drive and stuck that back together. That slop's just in the little plastic coupler. I think it's supposed to be like that because both are the same, but it's yeah, got no slop now. I had to Loctite the bearing into the housing with some retaining compound, because at some point it's obviously had a failed bearing, or the bearing spun in the housing a little bit and it was loose, and the shaft had a crack in the other side, so I put a couple of TIG welds on that just to hold it, so the whole pulley didn't walk out. But that's in there. I cleaned the power steering pump up and put that on, sat the alternator and bracket on. For anyone that wants to reseal their alternator drive with and then put a new bearing, that's the bearing number, a 5304ZZ, and the seal got a SKF CR seal. That's the number there. The old seal was up here somewhere, and it's hard as a rock and broken, so that was never going to do much. But yeah, it's like rock solid, so that was worth doing. I've just unbolted the Horton fan off this engine. I've got to sort of getting up to needing to make a puller for those bolt holes to get that balancer off, and then I need to stick a new seal in the front of this engine, and it's in there somewhere. I think I've got to pull that front plate off. Swap thermostat housing, because I need a straight one, and that one's comes out the side. So thermostat housing, take that fuel filter off and swap the fuel lines, or make some new fuel lines or something if they're no good. I've decided to leave that compressor on there. That's a 12 CFM compressor, and the one off the Kenworth engine is a tad bigger. It's 12.9 CFM, but it's been open in the box for a while and it doesn't turn over. I haven't put a big bar on it or anything, but I can't turn it over with a pair of multi-grips, so I'm going to stick with that compressor for now because I know it's good and it was making air. So a few little bits and pieces to go, and then I'll hit it with the little sandblaster gun and just the handheld one and blow the loose paint off it, and then give it a coat of paint. I picked up the paint the other day, as you saw, so I've gone with the darker Alpine green because I like the dark one a little bit better than the real light one. So that's the plan. I've got to put the rear engine mounts on. I've got to tap those bolt holes and put the rear engine mounts on, and they're still over here. So tap 6 bolts each side and stick them on, and then I can paint it, and then I'm going to put the jakes on after that. But the jakes will probably be their own episode because that'll be somewhat of a long sort of instruction video because I haven't done it, swapped them before either, so I'll put them on and I'll run overhead on it. I won't set the racks, I don't think I have to touch the racks, but yeah, I'll do a valve adjustment while I got it all apart. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. So it's getting there slowly, but same situation as last week. It's Thursday already and time's running out to get stuff done, so hopefully I can get a little bit more done before Sunday morning. Everyone's just in a mad rush trying to get everything done before they knock off for Christmas. One other thing I need to look at is this here is all blue siliconed on the bottom of the governor housing, and I don't like that. On this one over here, it's got a plug of some description, so I'm going to pull that one out and have a look in there, and then I'll pick the blue silicone off and hopefully I can reseal it properly so it doesn't leak, because yeah, I don't really like that. It's a bit dodgy. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. I might see if I can get this balancer off before I make a puller, and then yeah, we'll just keep swapping bits. This is how long this engine sat for. Look at this. They're like fairly stuck in there. Pretty much rusted in, but I got new ones of those, so it'll be all good. So this seal is being super stubborn. They're never this hard to get out. So I drilled a bunch of holes and tried screws and all that, and it hasn't been working. So I've mangled the seal a bit and got a bit of it sticking out, so I can get the vice grips on it and then pry bar behind the vice grips. And I'm hoping that this will do the trick, because nothing else seems to be. I know the seal's falling apart. Yeah, still didn't move. It must have some form of retaining compound on it, I would say. Still don't want to come out. I'll have to do more damage to it, I think. Yeah. After a lot of messing around, I have finally got it. I put a screw in a spot where I didn't have one before, and I got it. So it was annoying, but I don't think I did any damage. Just got to clean out some of that metal that I got, the swarf from the screw. But yeah, that was definitely in there quite well. Alright, it's out. Can clean up all this mess, and I'll have to put the new one in. So the inside of that seal, the ID runs on this spacer. It's got a little bit of a groove in it, but hopefully it's alright. We'll clean that up and we'll put the new one in. Alright, so it's time to put the rear main, front main seal in, sorry. There it is. It says install, what's it say? Install lip dry, so no oil in this one. Put a little cardboard ring in there. And all I'm going to do is try and use the crank bolt to push it in, basically. going to sit that in there. Like so. And then I've got a bit of grass, which I could just hit it in, but I'm just trying to do things half properly. I need to find something to go on there now. Then I just want to use the crank bolt to wind it in. So it's, is that long enough? Oh yeah, it's probably long enough. Like that almost, but then I just need a big washer. Alright, I'll go find a big washer. Alright, so I think I've got everything I need. This is just all stuff I found laying around. To try and get out of paying for the $430 tool that I don't want to buy yet. So, I've drawn my little plate for a puller, and the nut will get welded on there, and those 10 bolt holes should line up with the balancer on the original Kenworth engine. And now, you should just be able to press the button and it should cut it out. So, hopefully if I drew it right, that should line up. But the old plasma table doesn't do a bad job. I had it going too quick. I haven't used it for a while, so sort of forgot what I was doing a little bit. I had it going too quick. That's why I get the little overrun there, I reckon. So, now. Still going. Not bad. I think it will line up. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but that's pretty good. It's easier than drilling it, so the camera doesn't really show it, but all the holes seem to line up. I just got to run a tap through those holes, weld a nut to that for the puller bolt, and yeah, it should pull it off, so we'll give it a go. So I've got that one off now as well. The homemade puller did its job for half an hour's worth of work. It was not too bad. So I'll give that a wash and I can put that straight on the other engine now. I've done the front main seal, and that can go straight on. And then a few little things left to swap and I can start getting ready to paint it. It's time to put this balancer back on. I gave it a little cleaned up where the pulleys run because it was full of rust from sitting for so long, obviously. Gonna put a little bit of anti-seize on the crank and the crank bolt, and just in case I have to pull it off again in the near future or a long way away, it'll hopefully come off good. But now I've got that puller, it won't really matter. It should come off easy no matter what. I've got the little spacer in there that the front seal runs on, so I should just be able to tap this balancer on and it should just go on. Hopefully. These have keyways, so got to make sure line the keyway up, and went on easy. So it must just be the rust that makes them stick on, because it was pretty tight getting it off. But I saw how easy that went on, so that was surprising. I thought it was gonna have to be tapped on. And then just screw the crank bolt in, and I'll do it up tight with the rudder gun. I just remembered before I put the fan on the front, I'm going to pick out this blue silicone and pull that plug out and put a gasket behind it. Someone's either done something dodgy and stuffed the plug, or it must be leaking oil behind there, because why else would you silicone it? So Okay, I got the plug cleaned up and I got the hole in the housing cleaned up. I'm going to put a tiny bit of gasket silicone behind on each side of this gasket, just to try and stop any leaks. Hardly anything, but I don't want it to leak because it'll be annoying. So I'll just do a very small amount so it can't come off and contaminate anything in there. And I tried to look in the manual, but I couldn't find a torque spec for this plug. Someone will know it in the comments, I'm sure, but there's too many pages in the manual to look through. So I sort of lost interest in that, so I'll just nip it up tight and it should be right. So I'm up to getting the rear main out now. So I've got a couple of tack screws and a drill bit. Hopefully I can just drill a hole in either side and pry it out. I don't know if it'll be that easy, but I finally got it. I did a bunch up the top and then one down the bottom after I got the top moving, and it come out okay. I never know with some of them. Some don't always have metal on both sides. Like the aftermarket one I'm putting in is just seal on one side and no metal on the back. So I'm always a bit cautious when I drill in, because you never know. Sometimes you don't know if you're drilling into the plate on the back or if you're drilling right through into something on the crank or something inside the engine. So that's why I only always go through the the front, just because it's a bit safer if I don't know what seal it is. So yeah, got that. Now I just got to use my little machined ring there to push the wear sleeve on. I think I'm going to go cut another plate to suit the back of the crank, like I did the front, with a plate that I can put bolts through and press it on. So I'm going to go draw up one of those and cut one of those out. Then I can use that plate to push the wear sleeve on and push the seal in as well. So that's the plan now. I've got my plate drawn out, so I can cut it out now. Okay, I got my seal and I have my seal installer plate. This is a different size one that we use than what we use to put the ring on, because this has to slide over the ring to push the seal on, and a 3.5mm lip just to recess it in the bell housing a little bit. These seals, because they're not Teflon, they call for a bit of engine oil on the outside and the inside of the seal. So that's what I'm going to do. If you hit them in, you probably should put a bit of grease on the spring on the backside just to stop it from popping out, but I shouldn't need to hit it, so I'm not going to put any grease on the backside. And the oil on the outside's just to help it slide in a bit easier.
No, it just wants to sort of fall in. So just wind it in for a bit to keep it square. Yeah, I don't. Hopefully. What? Yeah, hopefully it's not. Okay, that should be seated in and it should be square. I've got the engine sitting out here, and I've got my little sandblaster gun that doesn't really do much, but I don't want to use the big one on this and blast sand into every nook and cranny at 250 psi, so I'm just gonna take it easy and do the flaky paint on the side of the block and just get the paint that's falling off it and try and smooth it out a bit. It'll take a while, but I'll just get it half reasonable, and then the rocker covers I can pull off and paint them when I fit the jakes, which will be next episode, probably before the engine goes in. So yeah, I just want to get some of the old green paint off and give it a bit of a tidy up. So we can put on the time lapse and see if this does anything. I don't know if it'll get it off, but hopefully it makes it a bit better. I got the engine all painted up yesterday and I'm pretty happy with it. It's definitely nice and shiny. I laid the paint on pretty thick. Got a couple of runs here and there, but hopefully it seals up any oil leaks that it has. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I didn't paint the rocker covers because I'm gonna pull when they're off and I'm putting jakes on. I'll blast those and paint them separately, so you get a nice good finish on those, because it's pretty hard to get around them all on the motor. And the exhaust, I don't know what I'm gonna, well, I want to ceramic coat it at some point, but I want to make sure the engine's actually gonna last a bit first, so I'll do that later on. So I just painted the manifolds green and they'll probably bake off pretty quick, but I'll sandblast these pipes here and the exhaust pipe, because this has got to be changed anyway to a different one which I got over there. So I'll sandblast that and just hit it with some high temp black just for now, so it doesn't look rusty. I'll have a few spots to touch up, like behind the alternator and stuff, but I'm really happy with it. That's the color I was going for. I like that color over the light green. This is sort of light green like it was, I think. Apparently not a huge fan of that color. I much prefer this color. So if anyone wants to do the same Alpine green that is, it took me a while to find it because the paint shop aren't much use. So this is the paint code. If they have Unicoat, that's the paint code there. You can get it in quick dry enamel or 2K. I went the 2-pack because, I don't know, I prefer 2-pack paint and primer. It just seems to be a bit shinier. I can get a better finish with it and it goes harder. So yeah, I prefer that. It just seems to last a bit longer for the effort you go to it. It's probably more expensive, but yeah, I prefer 2-pack. So yeah, looks pretty good. Pull the rusty bits of the exhaust off and blast and paint those, and then I'll fit the jakes next and paint the rocker covers. So yeah, it should be good. It's looking good. Before the motor goes in, I've got to fit that steering box spring hanger and give the chassis a paint. So I'll unbolt the filter housings and the wiring off the chassis and just go around and clean any dirt that's left off and just pretty much mask up to the front of the tanks there and paint from the front and forward, just so it looks nice and presentable. So that's the plan. Got a bit more to do, but it's getting there. So I'm glad that's painted. That's one thing ticked off the list. I was pretty busy getting this painted before the sun went down yesterday, so I didn't really get to update. But yeah, I gave up on the little sandblaster pretty quick. It was going to take way too long, so we just sealed up everything as best we could and hit the sides of the engine with the big sandblaster, and it did it in a few minutes compared to what would have been a couple of hours with that little one. That little one would be good for, like, you could do the rocker covers with it and get them pretty good, but not the whole engine. So yeah, just went straight for the big sandblaster and it did the job. Then yeah, we just used crushed glass, so it's pretty easy on everything. It's just more the fact that you don't want to get it in everywhere, but yeah, it was alright. Gave it a blow down and should be right. So, but yeah, it's come up looking good.